So this one came from a local reflexologist, and I actually love that this question came up because it shows how in tune she must be to her clients and what they might be feeling or needing when she goes in to give them a treatment. And I think firstly it's important to understand why it might not be ideal to breathe just into the chest. Obviously most people associate that kind of breathing with being tense and stressed. Even breathing that way can create something like a vicious cycle whereby you're sending that message to your brain, it's stressful, life is hard, and then it's just this kind of continual cycle. So the quicker we get back down into more deeper, more diaphragmatic breaths, the better that's going to be for the nervous system and for many other things. And I'm answering by video because there's quite a few different approaches that you could take, and there'll be different reasons for chest breathing and tightness and tension and all the rest of it. And it can be hard to know which route to take, but at the same time, probably all of these things would help. So I thought I would just give a brief overview of the different ways that you can approach someone who is quite anxious and just only breathing into their upper chest. One of the many benefits for breathing a little bit deeper and using the diaphragm a little bit more effectively for our breath is that it will draw the air deeper down into our lungs, which is actually where we need it to be in order for the gas exchange and to get all the bad stuff out and the good stuff in very oversimplified terms. Diaphragmatic breathing is very closely linked with nasal breathing. So if you see that someone is breathing just into the chest, if you feel like you're just breathing into your chest, there's a high chance that you're breathing in through your mouth. You might even see that I'm doing it now, and it's very common when you're talking, you'll take that short, sharp inhale through the mouth. It's the fastest way to get the air into the lungs. It's not always bad, it serves a purpose. Certainly when you're trying to speak, or if you're pushing really, really hard, very specific ways of training, although I would say nearly all your training should be breathing in through the nose. That's probably a different post. But with regards to the tension and trying to slow down your breath, using your diaphragm is going to really, really help. And breathing through your nose is going to really help. And the two are very closely linked. You can even try it now. If you take a short, sharp breath in through your mouth, it just goes here. You can see the shoulders lift, all the accessory muscles are overworking. However, it's not so simple as to say, oh, use your diaphragm, because a lot of people will be like, what? So I'll show some really simple techniques just to help get into the diaphragm and also release it a little bit because it can become quite tight and unable to work effectively. So I would say this is one of my favourite techniques when I first start introducing like diaphragm release to people. Ideally you'd use a Pilates ball, but you can use a cushion and you can even just work without anything at all. Can take a nice low seat, keep the legs together, place the ball in the lap and then lift up and over the ball and then just fold gently over it. If you've got boobs or a belly, you might just feel like no thanks and pop the ball to one side. It's all good. You're just going to fold forward, allow your head and your arms to hang down nice and heavy, and then take nice slow inhales through the nose, soft long exhales through the mouth. You could stay there for maybe up to 10 breaths, as slow as you can with the inhales and the exhales. Really focus on the expansion in your back as you breathe in, and then as you exhale, you're just softening, if the ball is there, softening further down over it, just getting a little bit of diaphragm release. I think most people are familiar with the idea of placing a hand on the belly and breathing into it, if you've ever looked into any form of breath work. That can become oversimplified because it's not just a case of pushing your belly out and in. We are looking for almost 360-degree expansion, but it is a really good place to start. So you can just place your hands on the belly, take a nice slow inhale through the nose, feel the belly expand, breathe into the sides, into the back, and then a nice long exhale through the mouth, and just feel it softening down. Maybe feel the rib cage softening down a little bit as well. If you're feeling brave, you can even have a little bit of a feel. So my rib cage opens out around about here, so you can just take the fingertips and just gently palpate around the area. And then if you're feeling like that's comfortable enough for you, you can gently fold over as well and just keep having a little bit of a feel. And then if you still feel comfortable, take those slow inhales through the nose, long exhales through the mouth. This one can feel almost uncomfortable or even straight out uncomfortable. And then finally, one thing to look at as well, check to see if you're fully exhaling, because it's all very well talking about an inhale and how we can inhale through our nose and all the rest of it. If you haven't fully exhaled, there's really nowhere for you to go from there. So just double check and see if you can take a nice long exhale softly through the mouth. Pause. And then take your inhale. So it's why it's really important to take the long exhale and not just focus on your inhale. If you happen to have a balloon, you can even really practice your exhales and working the diaphragm without any funky exercise or thinking about it too much. Blow up a balloon. Breathe in through your nose, out through the mouth. That will get you fully exhaling and create space for that beautiful, nice big inhale. Just in case you're not sure what it looks like when someone blows up a balloon, and then my favourite part, oh,